ladies and gentlemen, I have found the hidden content in this new Halo Infinite update. It has to do with ranked play. 343 has ranked me in Platinum for the first time ever. So now, if I want to get back to Onyx 1800, it's going to take longer. So I have to play more Halo. I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due, right? Like, that's just pure innovation. Just kidding. Ranked is a mess right now, more than usual, all right? Like, I expect there to be some kinks with a new update that they have to work out maybe in the first couple weeks, and I assume they'll fix this too. But it's kind of wild. So if your rank is not what you expected it to be, then everybody else seems to be having this problem too. I see it on Reddit and on Twitter. Tashi has acknowledged it on Twitter as well, so they're investigating. Currently, it's not just the rank that you get that's like the issue. Right now, it's the actual matchmaking that is wild. Like, it feels like, imagine rolling a dice and you get what you get. Like, anything goes. Like, I'm playing with bronze players, like literal bronze players on my team, or I've got pros on my team up against diamonds, and it's just completely it's everywhere. Like, anything goes. And this is different than the MMR-based matchmaking issues we've had in the past, where the game is ranking players based off MMR, so your hidden rank, or what the skill level the game thinks you're at, versus what your CSR is, like your actual rank. So if the game thinks you're an Onyx, but you're currently a diamond, it'll still put you in lobbies with other Onyx players despite being a diamond. They've shifted that, so even if you are MMR Onyx, if you are Diamond, you're still going to rank Diamonds until you get to Onyx, which makes more sense. Base it off CSR. This is all over the place, though. This is completely out of whack. So I don't know what the issue is, and it makes me wonder, like, if we were to take skill-based matchmaking out of Halo Infinite entirely, is this what it would look like, right? Like, there does need to be some form of balance at play. You can't have a Silver and an Onyx in the same lobby, right? So there does need to be some, especially in ranked at the very least. But it's interesting, you know, from a sake of experimentation. You know, you might not want to play ranked for a bit, or just take a look, try it for yourself, see what you think. Either way, this is a new update, right? So there's got to be new content. Let's take a look at some new content. You know what? Let me show you the new content. Here it is, the new content. The store is locked and loaded, baby. Look at this. So much content, so much to buy. Lots to buy here. 3,800 credits. How much is that in Canadian? It's a lot. Let me tell you. Don't do what I did, all right? I made a stupid mistake where I was on my coaching account, the account I use to coach students, which, by the way, you can book a session. And I bought 6,000 credits, which is 75 Canadian, which is insane. I shouldn't have done it. And I didn't realize that it went to the wrong account. So now I've learned that you can't transfer credits from account to account. And I don't know how to get a refund. I'm losing my mind, bro. Anyway, I'm not typically one to talk about this stuff, but the whole pricing structure here is just getting kind of ridiculous to me. Like, I'm sure Mint Blitz and other content creators have covered this, but like, first of all, this is not really content. This is cosmetics, which this is majority of what we're getting in the update. But like Spirit of Fire, which is your free operation, the stuff that you got here is hyper basic, right? Like, you get a dagger, but it's a super like bulky, ugly looking. Not a fan of this shoulder piece, personally. And that's it. You know, that's your free stuff. If you want the AR, which is the one cool thing in the free operation, that's actually not free. That's 500 credits. I had to buy that one. So this is like, there's so much cool stuff here that would be perfect in a battle pass that for whatever reason is not in a battle pass. It's all just paywalled instead, right? And then this is, I guess, if you want to buy them individually, or you get the deal if you want 3,800 for the deal. But then there's 3 more of these guys, and they all have unique pieces that, you know, all cost a ton of money to purchase. You're looking at well over $100 if you want this stuff. If I want the sniper, which obviously we want the new sniper model, you can't just get it by itself. You got to pay, like, I don't know. I bought it. I can't believe anyway. Basically, it just feels like there's a lot of stuff here that could have been in a battle pass that was scrapped for whatever reason last second. And now they've switched to their operation, you know, CU29 format, which, you know, I see the narrative right now. It's finally Infinite's getting good, and now we're doing this. Now we're giving up on it. We're moving on. So it's just really unfortunate that, you know, I'm kind of getting that vibe too, you know, like it's always 1 step forward, 2 steps back with this stuff. And I'm not trying to be like a hater critic with this stuff. Like the cosmetic side of this game is actually pretty sweet. Like the MK4 armor, that thing goes hard. That is free, which is cool. The new bandit skin, I'm a fan, right? This Grim Reaper bandit, I've got the OG phase skin on this, right? Because all the OG skins are unlocked. So if you had the original, or I guess you could buy the original face skin. Now it looks pretty sweet on this bandit, not gonna lie. The new sniper, this looks like it was ripped straight out of Destiny 2, right? Like, I don't know, the cross-core shoulders, there's some cool stuff here, but in the end of the day, it's not like really content, you know? It's not really what gets people on your game. Maps is content. Updates to the networking is content, right? The only real content I feel like we have in this update is this map right here. And not gonna lie, it's not bad. It's actually pretty solid. I haven't played it too much just yet, but I do want to share my thoughts and curious to hear what you guys think about it. It is a social map. Center of the map, you've got this camo lane, right? It is kind of cool, you know, kind of a gimmick, I'd say, from a competitive perspective. I'm not really sure if this could fly competitively. It's also just a really tight hallway, and it's cut off from traditional sightlines that you'd expect for team crossfire in like a normal Halo map. But aside from that, I actually don't mind it. Like, some aspects of this map are pretty sweet. This is a genuine skill jump. Like, shout out to Cliff, who designed the map, I think. Like, he put an actual skill jump in the map, which, you know, you don't... It's a dying breed. You don't see much of that these days. But this is a crouch jump. Just from the wall here, stay tight to the wall. You can stand on the panel and then jump clamber. You can do from this box as well. So you can sprint, jump, hold crouch, and then jump clamber up this way. A lot of fancy slides on this map. My favorite one is this one right here. You can stand on the edge and cut with a curb slide. So sprint off, time slide right before you hit the floor and jump and cut all the way across the front of this. And you got a whole variety of ways to slide around this map. On top of these lifts, which I actually think are pretty creative. Like, they're fast. They fly quick, right? When you go off these lifts, it's actually hard to land a shot while you're airborne with these lifts because of how fast they move. And I haven't tried to hit too many, you know, mid-blitz clips, like trying to get them out of the air while they're flying. But what I like about the lift is the integration with the thrust that spawns on the map, right? You got the thrust equipment and the fact that you can use your thrust at any point to double back and reach out the angle or land on one of these shoulders, right? So if you've got good timing, there's some cool creativity here. If you hit like an immediate thrust this way, you can land on this block, assuming you hit it properly. If you hit an immediate thrust this way, you can land on this block. It's kind of cool creativity here, right? Like, put that together with the right situation and some good timing, and you could probably land a sweet play. You've got right beside the thrust spawn, sprint, jump, thrust, and you've got a thrust jump that's exclusive to this area. That said, you know, I'm always down for more skill jumps and alternative routes to get to places, but some pretty inventive stuff here. You know, I like having like skillful, exclusive kind of ways to get around the map. And while the map is symmetrical, not every aspect of it is. Like, I can jump off this weapon pad here. There's collision here, which I don't think is supposed to or meant to be here because I can't really do it on the other side. The collision point on the other side, there's something there, but it's so small it's hard to land on. Whereas this is very consistent. I just jump and then I jump off it and I can clamber up here. I can also sprint jump and clamber this way. But, you know, why not make that accessible, right? What a perfect location to have a little bit of collision so that jump becomes possible. Same thing over here. I can clamber up to this, and this has collision on it, which means I can use it for a slide and a rotation, which I think is sick, personally. But for whatever reason, on the other side of the map, there isn't collision on the other side. It's blocked by an invisible blocker and hard to jump on. So it's just annoying, you know? Like, I would just like it to be accessible so we have more flexibility and more creativity to navigate the map in however we like, you know? It's not game breaking to be able to do, you know, a little jump to access something better. Like this right here, this block has a little ledge, a lip that you can stand on and slide off of as well, which is sweet for navigating this area. This is a different block. It's an entirely different block. So it's flat here, so you can't jump off this. There's this unique little spot here that I guess you can slide off of, but just little inconsistencies like that. Like, why? You know, like, just my competitive brain is like, let's just make it, you know, perfectly symmetrical and give people options to traverse in creative ways. Check this out, by the way. This is curb slide height. Obviously, you're exposed and you're vulnerable to nades, but hey, man, you know, you can kind of go back and forth through this hallway. If you're up here and you line up a curb slide, you can jet straight through into this tunnel and slide in very quickly. So, you know, in a high-pressure situation, it's kind of a sweet escape. Anyway, I actually like this map. I think it's pretty fun, and I'd be curious to see how it plays in a more competitive context, maybe without the sword or without this, like, camo feature, but curious to know what you think as well. Do you think it has competitive potential? Because this is all we got, man. We got no new maps in Ranked, just this one social map, and that's essentially all the content. We'll take a peek at the article here. So we got the 20-tier operation, all the expensive stuff in the shop, and then the new map illusion, the shoulder, cross-core shoulder pads, armor kits from year 1, right? For the existing orgs in esports, if you own them already, they're unlocked. You can use them anywhere. If you don't own them, you can buy them. If you have the ones that aren't still competing, so if you have G2, if you have E United, etc., those are unlocked now as well, which is pretty cool. I've got a few of those. And then the main menu looks pretty sweet. Cool. You know, we got some a different background, performance improvements in the armor hall. Sure. A lot of Forge, you know, toolkit improvements that matters, I think, to the Forgers. I think the addition, obviously, of the Covenant palette is really exciting. I'm keeping tabs on the Forgers and, you know, expecting to see a midship come out, and hopefully it looks nice, right? I will say that as nice as this stuff looks, there's a bit of a plasticky vibe to this Covenant architecture because it's so clean and so, like, pristine. And I'm hoping that maybe these decals can they make it look more detailed and make it look, you know, more ancient or worn or something, so it doesn't just look like plastic that, you know, we're fighting on. But better than, you know, back in Reach, but that's not saying much as far as a step up. The mode creator in Forge, the node, you know, scripting stuff, that this is good for Forgers. Great, some flexibility here, but ultimately, you know, not content for the broader player base. We have technically a new weapon, but not really. The sandwich, you can place it on your Forge maps now. It's the sandwich and the mythic sandwich, I guess. I think it operates like a sword or like a gravity hammer or something. It's like I assume a one-hit kill. I definitely think the lack of sandbox additions in this game is the biggest pain point for this game right now. I think apart from fixing like the network, which obviously we know they're working on it, not sure when, but just there's so many weapons, iconic weapons that just never made it to Infinite that you would love to see in Infinite, and I don't think we're going to get them, right? And I know that other content creators are talking about leaks that they've seen, like there's a banished shotgun that looks ridiculous or whatever. There's a couple equipment leaks that I've seen, like that vortex thing that pulls enemies and pulls equipment and everything into it, basically. I've seen one that's kind of like a grav lift, like a portable grav lift that you shoot and it sends somebody up into the air. You take a great assault with this stuff. Like, this is just, you know, I've seen a combat knife. I don't know if I'm crazy in saying that. I don't know if it'll ever come out. Like, there's no word on whether or not we're going to get this stuff. Here's a sneaky update to the Bandit that's actually kind of a W that I didn't even really consider, but they completely removed any form of bloom on the Bandit. There was a 0.03 error angle, which I don't really know what that equates to, but there was a very tiny, tiny amount of bloom on the Bandit, and people were saying they were having inconsistency issues with the weapon, like a blank shot or something that looked like a blank shot. Maybe there was some bloom. Maybe that was the issue. So they've removed that entirely. So W change. Definitely give the Bandit a try and see if you feel a difference. I'm already seeing pros say good things about it, which is great. The Bandit was already in a great spot. So cool. You know, make it even better before the new season. We've got resolved issues, bug fixes, some menu-related performance improvements, nameplate emblems loading consistently, thumbnail issues. I saw that tweet from Uber Nick where he unlocked like a placeholder image. So, I mean, clearly there's some bugs there. There's a big bug right now with the camo. I don't know if they've caught this. I don't see it on this list, but there's this new bug where if you have like equipment on your body, like active camo, let's say, and you haven't applied it yet, and you die, there's a chance that that camo might fall off you and through the floor and disappear. I don't know. I've seen Spartan tweeting about it as well. I think it has to do with the fact that they switched to red racking equipment, where only one player can pick up equipment at a time. And in the process of making this change, somehow it created a new bug. So a new feature now, too, is if you go to ranked, red racked equipment is no longer red racked. Like, it was supposed to be red racked. They reverted it back, so equipment is going to continue spawning regardless of whether you pick it up in efforts to combat the bug. But the bug is still there for whatever reason. So hopefully that gets fixed because it's annoying and kind of a big deal. I see some, you know, minor bug fixes in custom games, custom browser, theater, etc. Rewinding a theater film to a previous kill will no longer result in the kill feed and score notification being duplicated. One of my biggest issues with theater is the lack of a kill feed at all. Like, the kill feed will glitch and just disappear. And it's, you know, obviously not ideal if you're looking back and reviewing film, because the kill feed is an important source of information. So hopefully they can, you know, fix that. This could be big. This one right here that I wasn't aware of. Observer mode. The reticle alignment between the observer and player's first-person perspective has been improved, meaning an observer reticle will now more accurately depict where the player is aiming. That's actually a big W if it works, right? If we're watching spectator POV in Halo Esports right now, the actual position of the reticle that the player sees and what we see on spectator is not aligned. So it looks like shots aren't accurately hitting, like they're missing or should be missing, but they're hitting, which is difficult to appreciate as a spectator, right? So if they can fix that and make it 1-to-1 like we're on LAN, that would be incredible. It would improve the viewing experience of Halo in a big way. So I don't know. I haven't seen this yet, and maybe we'll get to see it this weekend. There's a whole list of other little bug fixes in Visual Forge, multiplayer, etc. that, I've kind of looked through. I don't see any really big ticket items that I think are worth, bringing up and discussing right now. If you want to read it yourself, I've linked the article in the video description, but all in all, that essentially covers the update. It's not much. It's kind of mid, in my opinion. I'm just, it's unfortunate, right? We brought it up in the beginning of the video. I just feel like there's not a lot of incentive to grind with this update. I understand why it's called Content Update 29, because it doesn't feel like a full-fledged season. We've got a ton of new cosmetics in the shop that are expensive, and not much that you can actually grind and work towards. So not much incentive there. One new map. I think we're still waiting on the BTB Forge maps that should be added to the BTB playlist. I don't believe they're there yet. They should hopefully be there soon. We still don't have dedicated rank playlists. No new playlists at all, especially in the, the rank section. We're waiting on Slayer. We're waiting on twos. We're not going to get that till we get the match composer, which we don't know when the match composer is coming out as well. So just, a whole like laundry list of potential content in the future, a lot of which I think it's fair to say we should have already had by now. On top of the missed opportunities with the sandbox, the lack of weapons in this game compared to previous Halo games, vehicles, etc. So it's disheartening, I think, especially considering Infinite is as good as it is right now. It's the best it's ever been. It's only continued to improve. It finally felt like we were, getting going with this game. And I still do love this game, and I still do believe in it as a Halo fan, I guess. Like, I'm still going to be grinding it. I just think, considering the circumstances, it's pretty unlikely we're ever going to see any sort of mainstream attention on Infinite anytime soon. Maybe the best bet to get mainstream attention is to focus on the next Halo, focus on the next project. I think optimistically, at the very least, like, Microsoft and 343 must still see Halo as a brand, as something worth investing in. So Halo will keep happening. We'll keep getting more games or more, like, to talk about and to play and create content on. So there's that. But, Infinite's in a great state, and I just want to see it continue to improve. Minus the ranked situation, which I'm sure ranked matchmaking will fix itself at some point. Anyway, that's enough ranting out of me. I took a break on recording, and then I came back, and my voice is just shot now. So I'll leave the rest up to you guys. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, what do you think of this new not season? What are you projecting, forward with the next Halo game? What are we expecting there? Is it a good idea that Microsoft is shifting their focus in the way that they are? In the meantime, if you're waiting for content, guys, make sure to check out my Patreon. By the way, thank you to my current Patreon subscribers. This is one of the best ways to support me, and I've got exclusive content on Patreon as well. For $5, you get access to my coaching sessions that I do with students and a whole variety of other experimental content and stuff that I'm trying. So feel free to check it out. If not, you can always check out the content right beside me. This is the way.